you log into FlowFox, you'll be met with this dashboard. The first 4 rectangles at the top are purely informative, and they are for the whole of your FlowFox instance. Then you'll see the welcome with your username. Below that is relevant to you. So you can see here I have 1 project belonging to me. I have no tasks assigned to me. Below the 2 rectangles, you can see your tasks due for today and your overdue tasks. If you have any, they will be listed there, and you will be able to click on those tasks to take you straight to them. What you're looking at here is the admin dashboard. There are 2 types of user for FlowFox, only 2. There is an admin and a default. The default user will not see these 2 items on the menu on the left. They won't see the users and they won't see the settings. I will walk you through the admin functions of users and settings before I walk through the rest of the interface and functionality of FlowFox. So let's start with settings. In settings, we have 1 setting here, which is email alerts. We use email alerts generally to configure to send to a messaging app like Teams, Slack, or Rocket Chat. So what we would do is turn on the messaging alerts, which you can do as simple as that, and it will send to the email address in here. Now, for all of Teams, Slack, and Rocket Chat, you can configure a channel in those chat applications that will create an email address, which can then be added in here where I am hovering the cursor, so that every alert generated by FlowFox is then sent to that channel in your messaging app. You can then allocate your FlowFox users so that they have access to that channel, and then every single alert that is sent by the application, by FlowFox, will go to your messaging app. In addition to that, as standard, FlowFox alerts relevant users to any updates that are related to them, and it does that by email. So if you own a task, or if you add an update to a task, or if you allocate a task to someone else, or make any change to a task, anyone related to that task in FlowFox will receive an email update immediately. And what they will know is any email that they receive from FlowFox is directly related to a task or a project they are working on. That is not configurable. That happens by standard. In addition, at midnight every night, there will be 1 email sent to every user that you have in FlowFox, and that is 1 email listing every single task that is live in FlowFox, grouped by user, and those tasks would need to be live, and it will also list the due date for those tasks. So that email comes out at midnight every night, so that your team is able to look at that when they come in the morning, or when they log in the morning. So the only setting that we have, though, is if you do want to turn on so that you can send to a particular email group, usually linked to one of your messaging apps, that's where you would do it. Next admin view is users. So here you can see the users, and as an admin, I can create a user. I can see a list of all my users, and I can see the email that's allocated to them, and I can then also see what kind of users they are, as in default or admins. Very easy to create a new user. Simply put in their name here, put their email address. That email address is where the alerts will go that I described before. Then you can put in the password, and finally what type of user they are, default or admin. Now, what's important about this is, because FlowFox is designed for corporates, small teams that want to do collaboration on projects or tasks, we don't have a sign up for individuals to enter FlowFox. You will have to, as an administrator, have your own instance of FlowFox, which will be on your own dedicated URL. You will create the users, including their password, and you will send those details by email or however you want to communicate with your users, who will then log in using the credentials you created for them. They can then set their own password simply by using the forgot password feature, which will allow them to then create their own password that is only known to them. And that is a way that we can reset passwords at any time. So it doesn't have to be an admin that sets passwords. The administrator can also delete a user. So simple as this, we hit the delete button over here on the right. When we delete a user, what we have the option of doing is we then reallocate all tasks and projects associated with that user to another user that's still in the system. So you just select, I can select it, so it's sent to me. So when I confirm, it will then delete that user, but the tasks will still exist, and all of those tasks will now be allocated to me. Now, if I want to then individually allocate those tasks to other people, I can do that at that point. So from an admin point of view, very simple. We have settings for setting up email alerts into a messaging app, and we can create and delete users here. The other features are open to every single person, whether they are a default user or whether they are an admin. So let's go to projects. So for projects, if you see up here on the left, we can create a new project. We have a project list, and we have the ability to archive projects. So let's start by creating a project. It's important to note that the structure of FlowFox is intentionally rigid because we are creating a very lightweight, simple to use, clearly defined way to manage tasks within projects across teams. So we have the concept of a project. You can have multiple projects, so it could be customer engagements, customer projects. Then under each project, you have tasks, and under each task, we have task updates. So adding a new project is very simple. We create a project name. So you would type in the project name here. Then you put a description. The description can be as detailed as you want, but you would type your description here. For our projects, typed in here. So for our projects, the descriptions can be quite detailed. So we can put a lot of detail about what has to be achieved on the project, and it's put here. We create a project owner. So I'm going to say me, and the project status is live. So once we've done that, we add it. I'm not going to add the project now. We have plenty of projects already running in this instance. So, and I'll show you those now by going to project list, if you see over there on the left. So here on the project list, what you're looking at here is these numbers at the top are not related to me. They are related to the whole FlowFox instance. So we have 16 projects in total, 10 are live, 6 are completed. I will go into one of the projects now. So I just click on the eye, and you'll see here, this is how a project looks. Very simple. So we have the project name. Here we have the project description, which is here, very short, but as I said, it can be very long. We can put a lot of details in the projects. We keep a track of how many tasks, and we have the project owner here. Now, only an admin can make changes here. So I can edit the project owner. I can change the name of the project. So I can do that here. I simply go in, I could change it. I won't do that. I can edit the owner. So I can change the owner of the project as well, which I won't do. Then beneath that, as you can see, we have tasks. So every one of these is a task, and within tasks, we then have task updates. The task updates are always automatically dated, and the name of the person that did the update is also automatically added. Then the details are put here, so and are listed here. So again, each update we can see here, and you can see that I did some updates, Ikwan did some updates as well. Now, we also intentionally keep FlowFox lightweight. We do that so that it's fast, quick, and easy to run, and doesn't require an awful lot of storage, which enables us to keep the pricing down as well. So we do not allow you to upload documents, although we do understand that in tasks, there can be a lot of documents that need to be accessed, reviewed, approved. All of that can happen just through the task updates. But what we do is we allow you to put a link to any one of your cloud storage offerings that enables you to allow people to look at documents you need them to see. So whether it's here, you can see SharePoint, it can be your own NAS, as long as it has a link that gives you access to it. It could be Dropbox, it could be Google Drive, anything, doesn't matter. So that's how we go about doing it. So what we do is, for each project, we would then add tasks. So I'm going to add a new task now, just for the purpose of this. So the task would be task to show how to create and update a task. I'm going to have that I want it completed by today. I'm going to allocate it to myself, and I'm going to make it live. I'm going to do that. Now, immediately on the creation of that task, which we can see down here at the bottom, there's been an email sent to the project owner, the task owner, and the person that created the task. Now, in that instance, all three of those people are me. So one email has been sent to myself, but if all three, if each one of those people have been different, so the task owner, I created the task, but allocated it to a different task owner, and the project owner was different, all three of us would have received the email alerting us that a new task has been created. Now I can just create an update under the task. So I can say, once I have demonstrated this, I will pass the task to Iquan to create an infographic. Details of what to include in the infographic at the link provided. And then I can put a link in here, which would potentially be where the infographic instructions are. So just make up a link for now, but it would likely be in Dropbox or SharePoint or something like that. So I would add that here. So now that is there's my update. And now what I can do is I could now allocate this task to Iquan, which I'm not going to do because this is a live system and I don't want him to receive the email. But if I allocated it to him, submit, which I'm not going to do, it would then change him to the task owner. He would get an alert. I would also get an alert because I did the update and I'm the project owner. And Iquan will now know that he needs to work on this task. Once the task is complete, we can mark it as completed. Here it is. And when a task is complete, if you are the admin, you have the ability to still edit the task. You also have the ability to delete the task, but only the admins can do that. Default users can't, although default users can set the task back to live if they want. I'm going to delete this task now. So the task is now gone. Okay, so that's a very simple concept of we create projects. Under the projects, we create tasks. We set owners of the task, aim for completion dates for the task, and whether the task is live or completed. And then we have task updates under that, which is how we communicate with the team. So we add the updates, and managers can look at it, project owners can look at the updates, and where an update also means passing ownership of the task to someone else to complete, you do that just by changing the task owner as shown. So once, if we go back to the project list, you can see that some projects have completed. The admin can set those projects back to live. I won't do that, but there's the button. No one else can do that. Default users cannot. And likewise, any user can set a live project to completed, but only an admin can reset a live project back, a completed project back to live. Also, only an admin can delete a project. No one else can delete it. But for the completed projects, over time, you may have a lot of completed projects and you may not want to keep them in your list anymore. But from a compliance point of view, or just from being able to go back if you needed to and look at what happened in a project, like was an approval given or something like that, what we've created is an archive function. So we can go into archive, and here you'll see all the completed projects. If you just click on the archive button, it will just download that project into a text file, and it will just have the name of the project and archive. So this one would have been called Symphony Summit archive.txt. Once that project is in the text file, everything that was in the project will be there in the text file. So the project name, the project description, who the project owner was, then every single task with every single task update with all the details, including the links underneath. You can then save that text file to a safe location. You can back it up, so you've always got a record of those projects. If you ever want to stop using FlowFox but you wanted to keep a record of everything, this is a great way to do it as well. You can bring literally then just archive every single project. Once you've archived your project, if you then want to delete it, as mentioned before, you can go to your completed project and you can literally delete it, safe in the knowledge that you've got a full archive of that project should you ever need to reference it again. And then just finally, the final view is tasks themselves. So it's just a list of tasks and anyone can view this. This list, so you can see every single task. What you're seeing here is all the live tasks. You can also sort them by overdue, so you can see overdue tasks, and we can see them by name, see my completed. If you want to see my live tasks, I have none. And finally, we can see them by project. For each task, if you want to actually go to it, you just click on the eye and it will take you directly to that task. There we have it there. So that is your full overview. That covers every feature of the product. Very simple, but very clear, well-designed, lightweight and fast, with the ability to have as many users as you like with no extra cost. In fact, we have a free forever version where if you want one project, it will run with all those features you've just seen. If you upgrade to the full version, the only limitation that needs to be removed is the one project. Then you can have multiple projects and unlimited numbers of users. So with that, I hope that gives you a good overview of how the product works.